This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Oh, Radigan, dear Radigan, oh, what a guy. Hey, Radigan, what Radigan? Oh, Radigan, the world's greatest rat. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Well, we're back here with another episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. In the last episode, well, we decided to scuttle the boat. However, we didn't inform anyone of it, and we killed everyone that Gobbet ever knew and loved, and left on with that. But no, we're not gonna kill everyone. So, yeah, what you're supposed to do in the last episode is go to the talk command over here, and you can now tell the viewers of the boat what's going to happen. So if you want a nice ending and you still want to scuttle the boat, just tell them pull it once, and you'll get a karma point no matter which one you choose, or choose two if you want to try the mutiny. So an old relay switch box hangs off the wall. The plastic exterior of the case is broken in numerous places, and a jumble of wires spill out of the cracks. This must be the shipboard alert system and what's left of it. Your eyes are drawn to a large lever marked alarm. So if you want to fight the Rat King, choose this one, which is what we're going to do. So pull the lever twice to signal Cadmus to start this mutiny. The alarm system blares, once then twice. The sound is ear-splitting. Moments later, the distant sound of gunshot filters down from above. Yeah, we get a karma for just telling them what's going to happen. You can still fight the Rat King by going into the room, which is back over here, without telling them. You just miss out on karma points, so might as well do it. Yeah. And yeah, as soon as we do that, you might still be able to do the Matrix stuff, maybe, but you've already told them that you're going to scuttle. I bet what happens is you could still do the Matrix and scuttle the ship, but they're fighting the Rat King, so they still die anyway, thinking that they're going to escape. So if you want to be a true dick, you could be like, I'm going to scuttle the ship anyway while they're all fighting. They're giving them false hope. But anyway, all right. So now if we're ready for this, go into the Rat King's room and just, harass the Rat King. This door is heavy. It looks it could easily be barred to prevent outside intrusion, but instead it stands ajar. When is a door not a door? When it is ajar. It's almost as if it's inviting you in. That's Malvina's old cabin, the seat of power for the sinking ship. That's where the Rat King's gonna be. Once we go in there, we're gonna be in this. There's no changing our mind after we picked a fight with that thing. What do you say, Wiggles? Are we doing this or not? Near the Rat King's throne room. Alright, let's do it. There it is. Ugh. The thing that looms over you is horrifying. A twisted amalgamation of woman and swarm, knotted and tied together into a single whole. Gobbet. The creature's voice is unnerving. 1,000 rumbling voices, all interwoven and laid upon over the top of Malvina's crisp, cultured speech. You have returned to us, little mouse. You, the instigator of our own ascendancy. The Rat King shifts its gaze to a nearby altar. A gleaming red stone has been ensconced within. The keystone, the source of our unity, the font of the power that makes us strong. Your gift to us, little mouse. You gave us what we needed to bring this raft to order. Gobbet's nose crinkles in revulsion. On her shoulders, madness and folly chitter and shriek. Say me the speech, Malvina, or whatever you are. I'm not here to talk. The new body isn't doing you any favors, by the way. You look like a furry tree stump. The creature leans forward into the light. A fine-featured face with high cheekbones and piercing eyes stares down at you. The carpet of living vermin that bury the rest of Malvina's head and neck struggle and shriek. Our new body is beautiful itself. Unity of biology and unity of purpose. What you are is a monster, and a foul one at that. The thing's voice grows to a roar, and you hear other sounds folded into it. The cacophonous, gibbering babble of things gone mad. We are order of chaos, the death of entropy, a glorious unity. You sound like a Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy boss. Oh, fuck this. She pulls back the slide of her weapon. We're here to kill this thing. Let's not let it talk us to death. Attack the Rat King. Damn right. You hear the scrape of claws on metal. Something is heading this way. Yeah, the rats themselves. So she's got to summon rats. So there's basically two parts of this fight. One, we need to just weaken the Rat King in general. Rat King has a decent amount of health, so I think it has a little bit of armor if I recall correctly, but nothing too bad. So, alright, let's hit it with Fireball. Yeah, it's in cover currently because I got behind a box. So, alright, let's see. Let's have we move over there, and then let's use your mark ability. Alright. Alright. Yeah, no good. Yeah, really no good stealth spots. But we'll, yeah, them getting in the corner didn't help. Ow. Yeah, they summoned a rat swarm on me. Ew. Yeah, it lowered my AP, so. I was about to say, you're gonna do anything else? I was like, oh, I did just enough AP damage to knock me out. Boo! Alright. Yeah, this is definitely not a very good spot for this thing, that's for sure. Because of where it's at, I can't really use the grenade at the moment, so let's just keep blasting it. There we go. Alright, sorry. The Rat King recoils, moaning for a moment. A strange energy washes over it, bathing its body in indigo light. I couldn't read it because it went way too fast. But yeah, see, we already did a lot of damage to it already. And she summons a bunch of rats to take it. However, now that that's happened, this has appeared, this symbol, the shiny object. So it's basically healing itself. So what we need to do is have Gobbet deal with the shiny object for, I think, 2 rounds. And we need to keep these rats off of her or heal her when it comes down to it. Now, you probably don't want to completely destroy the rats. Maybe kill like one of them so they're not doing as much damage. But because they'll be useful later. But yeah, as soon as we can, we want to have Gobbet go straight for the shiny object. The Rat King shrieks as Gobbet lifts the shiny object in her hands. In its voice, you can hear the echoes of 1,000 inhuman beings. This is interesting. She hugs the shiny object to her chest, her bare hands caressing the stone. I can feel Malvina's control over the rats. It's like 1,000 strings connecting her to them, and it feels like... One of the Rat King's servitors shudders in place. Slowly, seemingly against its own will, it lifts its head to stare at you. I can tug at those strings. Malvina's culture voice is overtaken by the inhuman roars of the other things that share her body. We will rend you all to pieces, tear your flesh to sunder. Gobbet dances back, cradling the shiny object like a newborn baby. She begins to laugh. Buy me a little time, killer. I'm still getting used to this thing, but if you give me a minute or two, those demon rats will be mine. I can do that. The only problem is you're basically forcing Gobbet to deal with a shiny thing, even though it's caused all this trouble. So, but yeah, Gobbet is technically out of the fight for I think it's 2 rounds if I remember correctly. So, all right, let's now that we have it, now that we have these guys together, let's grenade launcher them. I said I don't want to kill all of them, but I do want to weaken a couple of them. Might like kill one off maybe just to, like I said, just to be careful. An ominous chittering noise fills the air. I think if so much time passes, I think technically more of them can appear, but... Alright, oh, we'll wait then, so, alright. I just wanted to take out a couple of them, so. Alright, let's refill that and we'll have another turn, because you can't hit the Rat King in this form. Here's another one. I have to... Hey Malvina, I've got something of yours. But yeah, now that 2 rounds have occurred, all the rats become usable as companions. So, all right, let's just send them after Malvina, and now Malvina can be hit. Yep, just have them go after him. So the rats have the bite attack, which does 7 damage, no AP damage, and a powerful bite attack. They also have the ability to possibly do Noxious Breath, but you have to wait a turn to do it. But it's a Venom Spray that does 10 HP damage and then additional 4 HP and 1 AP damage, but we have to wait. So, alright, and now we just have to, I'll, AP me. Why not? Yeah, heal you really. Oh no, okay. It won't let me heal her anyway. Nice. And because we're on that ley line and I've got such a high level, it resets my I think it resets all my cooldowns by 1, so I can use the flamethrower ability again instantly, which is awesome. Yeah, see? Never mind. I'm just so OP. The Rat King's body shudders and convulses. As you watch the living carpet of devil rats that forms the majority of its bulk begin to writhe. Malvina opens her mouth to speak, but you'll never know what she was going to say. The only sound that escapes from her throat is a long, ragged scream. With a dawning horror, you kind of realize that you're looking at the devil rats that surround Malvina are turning inward. She is being eaten alive. Gobbet stares, dead-eyed, at her former friend as the swarm that is bound to her rips the body apart. Black blood pours in rivers to the aluminum-lined floor. Come on, Gobbet, let's get the hell out of here. You go if you want to. I'm watching this. I owe Malvina that much. The ghastly feast unfolding before you continues long after Malvina's screams have died away. Finally satisfied, Gobbet nods to you. This raft is ours. It's over. Her PDA buzzes. She glances down at it, then turns the screen so you can see it. Cadmus's grim visage fills the screen. I don't know what you just did, but whatever it was, it worked. Those rat things turned out Malvina's loyalists. He wheezes into his mask, gulping in purified air. And when they got done eating them, they started eating each other. Gobbet stares down at the shiny object that she holds clutched in her hands. Yeah, I know. I told them to, right after I did the same to the Rat King. Malvina's dead, Cad. You did good, Gobbet. You and your friends, we won. Come on up, topside. A celebration is in order. She shakes her head. No, Cad. No celebrations. No milling around. You can keep this place. I'm done with it. Too many bad memories. Besides all that, you got a hell of a mess on your hands. I'll be damned if I'm going to help clean it up. You've already helped us clean up, Gobbet. I always owe you for that. Yeah, well, let's not make a big thing of it. Goodbye, Cad. Good luck. She flicks the PDA off. The screen goes black. Captain Jomo is still waiting for us outside, ready to go home. Beyond ready. She passes the shiny object from one hand to the other, scowling. And this stupid thing is taking a one-way trip to the bottom of the bay. Now, you probably could tell her to keep it, but we already know what it's going to do eventually, so there's no reason to get rid of it, or keep it, so good call. Come on, killer, let's go home. We already know it'd be... I mean, obviously, if there was something to it, like you could keep the stone and have it affect the story at all, but it doesn't. So it's not... I mean, you could say maybe something happens to Gobbet after the game's over, you know, but... Captain Jomo's speedboat carries you away from the sinking ship, now liberated from the tyranny of the Rat King once and for all. The shiny object rests with Malvina's bones at the bottom of the Hong Hong Bay. Gobbet stares back at the raft as it recedes into the distance. Her expression is at once happy and sad. Isabel takes her hand, and together they turn away. Heoi grows closer. You're going home. And that's it for Gobbet's storyline. Obviously, there's a few lines after to indicate closure for a character, but that's it. So we've done Ractor, Isabel, and Gobbet. So now all we have left is Gaichu and Duncan. Although Duncan's story is more involved with the main plot more than anything. But we got Gaichu's story to do. And like last episode, for those who watched at the end, there's going to be a cutscene with Conley Cheng. So let's go head over there. Your Conley chirps and Conley Cheng's rusty voice slides through the speaker. You can hear the sounds of mahjong players laughing in the background. It's Auntie Cheng, dear. Let me guess, you come back to tell me about another life-threatening Shadowrun that would be perfect for someone of my talents? It's not a job, Wiggles. It's information. I have a lead on the location of the plastic-faced man, the man we saw in the surveillance footage, meeting Raymond Black at the tea house on the docks. Where is he? Not in the comm. Just come see me and we'll talk. Alright. And for defeating that, we get a action point permanently for all party members. So now everyone gets 3. 3! We also gained a level as well, so now everyone's at level 5. I'll go over that before the next battle. Not right now, though. Got plot, because like all missions, there's dialogue to talk to. Everyone in town has something new to say, for the most part. Alright. Let's see what the old broad has to say. Conley Cheng is in the midst of emptying 2 plastic shopping bags when you enter. She places the contents in a pile on her mahjong table. 2 liquor bottles without labels, a box of her thin black cigars, an assortment of individually wrapped gourmet chocolates, and a large caliber pistol with electrical tape wrapped around its grip. Ah, good, you're here. She finishes with the plastic bags and throws them to the floor. Seems like forever since we saw each other. Forever? You haven't been gone that long, Auntie. No, I haven't. That was just something Nightjar used to say to me. Chang smiles wistfully every time he saw me. Well, he's dead now. While I was away, I met with several contacts with my network who referred me to others in neighboring cities. Regardless of how far technology moves forward, tradition demands that some things be handled face to face. I have information to lead you to the man who killed Raymond Black. Yeah, well, there is no Raymond Black. The Triad Woman eyes narrow. What do you mean there is no Raymond Black? He's fiction, made up. His real name is Edward Sang. Fiction, eh? Her brow furrows. Josephine's son, Edward So. That explains where he went when he disappeared years ago, Seattle. Any idea why he disappeared? No, just that he went missing after Josephine completed rebuilding the walled city. That was in the early 30s. Her face twists into a mask of disgust. You realize what this means, don't you, my sweet? That inbred little goat whore was cold enough to have her own son executed. Even more reason to find the plastic-faced man. What have you found out? Everything. You need to move forward. She grabs a bottle and opens it. I know the identity of the plastic-faced man. His name is Lee Tae Lung, and he's an independent contractor, a trusted, deniable asset who handles all of Josephine Sing's more delicate operations, off the books, away from the public eye. The plastic-faced man is her shadowy right hand outside the corporation. Chang doesn't bother with the glass. She takes a long pull off the stinking bottle and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. And I know how to find him, too. I made contact with an information broker, GOG, who works out at an abandoned night market. Man, I was having trouble reading that for a second. In Shrek Kim May, called this Xing House Court. It's not hard to find. She takes another pull on the bottle. Zhao Ji has gained access to the plastic-faced man's complete itinerary, where he'll be, who he'll be with, and what sort of security he'll have. That works. She grins, glassy-eyed. You can use it to perform an extraction, grab him, and find out what he knows. Did you find out why Lee has a face made of plastic? It's not just his face. Lee Tai Lung's entire skull is synthetic. He's designed himself to be the perfect corporate operative. He's installed a unique piece of headwear, you see. It allocates and compartmentalizes client-related memories so that they can be erased upon the completion of a job. And as an added security measure, this cortical implant will wipe his memory if it detects that he's been captured. Seriously? You can just wipe out everything having to do with Seng's mechanical services? It's all part of his branding, apparently. Unless you can find a way around the cortical implant, you'll have no way to extract that information he has and figure out what happened to Raymond Black. She circles the mouth of the bottle with her index finger. Now I've done my part in this, darling. You need to find a way to neutralize that device. Isabel interjects, her voice breaking slightly as she speaks. I know a way. I heard of something like this before. I met someone in the Matrix who had to shirk a similar memory wipe implant once. It was a requirement for a big job, and she pulled it off. Keep talking. Her handle is Dreamland, and I know where to find her. All that we have to do is convince her to give up the secret of how she did it. Okay, Isabel and I will go see Dreamland before we hit the information broker. Then we grab the plastic-faced man. No matter who you choose to help you snatch this guy, I'm going to be there when you extract the information from him about Raymond. Wu crosses his arms across his chest and tilts his head towards you. You got it, Pikel? We should all be there. Gobbet eyebrows arch high. I know that I want to see this. Very good, my darlings. Now listen to me. After you get what you need from the plastic-faced man, I want you to end him. You understand? The Triad boss taps the table with her finger. I need to send a very clear message that this is what happens when you mess with Kindly Chang's operations. With Kindly Chang's people, Josephine takes Nightjar, I take her plastic-faced man. Once you snatch the plastic-faced man, Sang will know something is happening and events will unfold very quickly after that. You best close out any pressing business you have before heading to Shekip Mei to see Zhao Ji. Do you understand? Basically, the game's saying this is working towards the end game, so as soon as you do that, all the other side quests get thrown aside. So, but luckily, we have as much time as we do before that, so you can complete all the quests with no problem. It's just if you want to go to the end game as fast as you want, you can do that. So, all right, I get it. Once we set the ball rolling on this, there's no turning back. That's right, my darlings. No more side jobs, no more delinquencies. Kindly Chang raps on the mahjong table with an imitation ivory tile. Be sure that your affairs are in order before you head to see the information broker. But yeah, so do everything you can. So yeah, we still have a few jobs to do before we do that for sure. No time for runners now. I have other business to attend to. All right. So now, we're going to change things up a bit. We're going to go talk to our party members first now, instead of talking around town. So let's head to back to the Bolt Hole, or Big Texas. That's what I called it, right? Big Texas, yeah. Sometimes I forget. I have other playthroughs where sometimes I change it to other names and stuff like that, just for fun. So just to change up the playthroughs, just so I don't accidentally oversave over a different, like my recording file. All right, let's check this, see what's going on. See, I think the inbox is oh, finally the unread message is active. More notes. Crafty Woo to Wiggles, more notes. Wiggles, why it was blazing through my mom's journals, or sorry, wrong, Crafty. I was thinking of Conway Chang for a second. While I was blazing through my mom's journals, something struck me. We spent so much time reading about the walled city that we haven't thought to look at it, to paint a picture with the information we've been gathering. So I contacted a friend of mine, Riley, a Decker, and asked her to pull some data for me. The results were surprising. For what it's worth, I think we're onto something. Riley dug up records of things like reported sleep disturbances, psychotic breaks, HKPF responses to cold activities, etc. She found that they all formed a classic bullseye heat pattern around the walled city. She couldn't find any data from within the walled city itself, but the outside data was still enough to establish the pattern inside the slum. This has got to be more than a coincidence. It's too unnatural to be attributed to anything else. I don't know what it means yet, but I've got my nose to the books. I'll let you know when I find out. One other thing, that last email I sent you, the one with my mother's notes, I went ahead and reread it, and that took me back to the source text. I was able to pull something else from her list. This isn't much, but it seems to be pretty consistent about her ramblings. If I'm reading it right, it's kind of like a set of rules that govern the interactions of the Alma Kings. It's surprisingly bureaucratic if I'm reading it right. The most interesting tidbit is this. There's something here about the Kings being unable to back down in a deal. It's like if they give an inch, they forfeit everything. From what I'm reading, the Alma Kings have their own code of law, but they don't have to follow them unless you know how to call them on it. Like they break the rules all the time, but if you can't cite chapter and verse on what rule they're breaking, it doesn't matter to them. Approach from a place of wisdom, though, and you can bind them with your own laws. Anyway, that's all I really arcane stuff, but I think there might be something here. I can't vouch for any of it, obviously. When you take the step back, it all sounds like crazy talk. But one thing that I can tell you for certain, my mother believed it was true. If anything else comes up, you'd be the first to know. Crafty. Oh, by the way, have you noticed how the game doesn't ask us to sleep anymore? It's because we've already done everything that requires the sleep condition, which is getting that tooth pulled, by the way, for those who are curious. So, all right. Let's open see if anything about the jobs. All right. Nothing on that. And yeah, I think we're all good on that. So let's check the BBS. And I think we've already got no paydays. So, all right, let's check the BBS. Explosions in the Eastern District. What's up with all the explosions rocking the Eastern District? My walls were just shaking. Word has it Shiwas has a secret lab tucked away in an old industrial building out there. I'm guessing the rumor's true. Correction, I think Shiwas had a lab out there. Ugh, it's really stinking. It's really stinking where I'm at. It's a cross between sulfur and weirdly new car smell. I wonder what they were doing. Better put your gas mask on for good measure, man. No more posts. And finally, Decker looking for a team. What? Wait a minute, wasn't the team looking for a Decker? What's going on? Experienced Decker looking for a team to run with, potential for a long-term arrangement. I've taken over the business interests of a team of runners, running basic heists and the occasional transport gig. I'm in contact with a reliable fixer and will be working with the old team's long list of happy clients. Requirements. You must not take experimental stims during runs. You must not tamper with chemicals in secret labs. You must know how to properly operate a moped. You must listen to your Decker when your Decker says, I don't have control of that turret yet. You must have a good sense of humor. Optional. Hey, what happened to Gruesome Nguyen 888? I recognize this ad. It's his boilerplate. His team was always looking for a new Decker. What the hell happened? You see that fourth item on the requirements list? Oh shit, that's nuts. Are all of them gone? Muffin Top Ninja? Captain Scone? All of them. Even Explodey Sue. I hardly got to know them, but they were good people. What a terrible loss. You had no idea who you're running running the shows with, huh? Explodey was a great war hero, tough as nails, could have tipped the scales from Tiwa if she hadn't knocked herself out with the force of her own mana blast at a crucial moment. No shit. It gets better. Muffin Top Ninja was one of the most revered martial arts masters in the GIS until his health began to fail. He was well known for his self-deprecating humor, and Gruesome Nguyen 888 was a great philanthropist. Every credit he earned, he poured back into helping the indigent population of the walled city, where he grew up. Captain Scone? I kind of chuckled at his name, but now I'm thinking there's more to it. I'll say, he was a Scottish separatist who campaigned tirelessly for the restoration of his country. When his activism drew too many enemies, he fled and became a pillar of the Scottish expat community in HK. As for his name, think of Stone and Scone. And these amazing people just couldn't catch a break. And now this, R.I.P. I'm horrified. I wish I'd gotten to know them better. I wish I'd gotten that turret down faster. Seems like you knew them pretty well, huh? Or very well, huh? I suppose so. I'm the Decker who responded to one of their first ads. My gut said not to join them, but we developed a lot of mutual respect over the years. I've never thought I'd live to see one of their Deckers live. Well, although it would make 2 Deckers, I don't suppose you'd like to team up? I don't think so, no. And that's it. That's the end of that little just story arc, was that, yeah, the team eventually would try to get this Decker. The Decker screwed up, and in the end, they screwed up for not listening to the Decker, so it's a sad state of affairs, but that's the world of Shadowrunning. That's just how it works. Anyway, let's see. I think Raptor is pretty much done with story. I think we've gotten everything we can out of him. Yep. So now Raptor will no longer have new dialogue except plot relevant stuff. So, any thoughts about the last run? No, it wasn't there, remember? I spent the evening here in my shop. Yeah, it's the same dialogue. So, okay. Goodbye, my friend. Have an enjoyable evening. But yeah, we can ignore Raptor for the rest of the game, basically. I'll check on him just to see if he, like I said, if a plot-related thing happens, I might check with him. And I think Gaishu doesn't have anything because we haven't done his plot yet, so. Gaishu is examining his armor and gear looking for defects. Wiggles, I am ready to go when you are, but it doesn't hurt to do a last-minute inspection. Message me from the NTR station when you are ready. Okay, so we're good there. So yeah, so let's go talk to Duncan. He should have some new dialogue. I think Duncan, well, Gobbet obviously has some, but Isabel obviously has new stuff, as well as Gobbet and Duncan, so. Let's see how Duncan's doing. The clinking of metal followed by grunts from hard exercise erupts from the hatchway of Wu's cabin. The first thing you notice when you enter is its renewed cleanliness. The food cans are gone and his equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding, everything in its place. The next thing you notice is the smell. It's like a middle school locker room in July. Wu finishes his jumping jacks and grabs a towel off his bunk. His exposed flesh gleams with perspiration. Hey! Wu, open a porthole. This place reeks. Do you see a porthole, Pikel? This is an interior cabin, not the best for ventilation. But I don't think you came by to check on my hygiene. What's your deal? What'd you think on that last run? Was it on the last run, Pikel? I assume it came out okay since you're here to ask about it. I always ask that anyway, even though I know the dialogue's not going to be different. Still thinking about Edward saying? He rubs his towel under his arms. Compartmentalized him. Edward saying is a topic in a file cabinet in my head. I'm only thinking about Raymond now, finding out what happened to him, what really happened to him. Still thinking he's alive? More than ever. Raymond's alive, I'm sure of it. He continues stretching. We're getting close to the plastic-faced man, Duncan. I know. I haven't stopped thinking about him since we first saw him in that video. The one where he attacked Raymond in the tea house. He wipes down one side, his neck with the towel, folds it, wipes down the other side. Listen, Pikel, I'm not going to press you to take me with you when you head out to snatch him. You take the right people for the job and then get the job done, okay? But I want to be there when you interrogate him. I want to hear what he has to say with my own ears. Are you going to have a problem with that? Sorry, Wu. Interrogation time is for the big kids. Fuck you, Pikel. You can take me with you on the run or not at your call, but I intend to be there for the fun part. Easy, Duncan. This is about Raymond, not about hurting people for kicks. Knock off the easy Duncan crap, Pikel. I'm not doing anything for kicks. He drops his towel on the bunk. This is the guy who knows what the hell is going on. The one who may have killed Raymond. And I'm gonna squeeze him until I find out what he knows. You'll squeeze whom? Just promise me that you'll be able to control yourself. Otherwise, we are gonna have a problem. This is Raymond we're talking about. Wu drops his hands to his side and closes the gap between you. His voice is calm, sober, deliberate. I'm not gonna screw this up. I promise. You told me that you were resentful when I took off, but maybe it was about how Raymond handled that thing with Double Trey. Nah, it was about you disappearing for 8 years without a word, but we're past that now. Wu pulls his right elbow across his chest and his left hand, gets a good stretch. But that was a messed up night. A lot of things happened. I wouldn't be surprised if some, I don't know, emotions got jumbled together. Stuff about the old gang? That was part of it, sure. I'm still carrying that around, but mostly it's about Raymond. We butted heads before. I'd broken plenty of his rules in the past, but I'd never seen him so disappointed. I'm still not sure why. Never figured it out. Why don't we walk you through it from the beginning? Start with when Lockjaw showed up at Ray's house. Wu pulls his left elbow across his chest and lets out a little groan. So this was 2045, years after the summer we moved in with Raymond. We hadn't seen DT or Lockjaw or any of the gang in forever. Raymond's rules. No contact with our hoodlum friends. No visiting the squad to check up on him. We weren't even allowed to see that Aslanton family and their dog. You and that damn dog. I swear you two should have moved in together and left us out of it. It's a dog, dude. Man's best friend. The way I remember it, we woke up in the middle of the night and there was Lockjaw standing in our room covered in blood. My first thought was that Raymond was going to kill us. Can you imagine? There's a teenage Salish Indian covered in blood in our bedroom, and my first thought was that I might get in trouble for it. We just started our new life. We were safe for the first time ever. We didn't want to blow it. I know I didn't want to go back to the Barrens. We had it good at Raymond's. Wu throws his elbow behind him, twists at the waist. Salotjaw's bleeding all over our bedroom, and your whisper yelling, "Where's DT? What's happened to Double Trey?" 5 minutes later, we're dressed in black and on our way back to the Barrens. We had to. Of course, if it wasn't for Double Trey, neither of us would be here right now. DT was the one who took us to the teen center, introduced us to Raymond. Man, that was a messed up night. The 162s had overrun the Leary squad, better positioned to take on the nukes. Benzo and Tusk were bleeding out. The Hernandez family was half-eaten. And little Joe, that streetwalker with the electric false eyelashes, was lying on the floor in 2 parts. This is really about when but we got Double Trey out alive. He was the only one, though. Wu stares at his boot. I can still hear Lockjaw screaming as the ghouls took him down. When the 162s wanted something, they did not play. Anyway, all of that was just a lead-up. He lets out a long, slow breath. But still, it speaks to my state of mind that night. Why I wouldn't back down when Raymond met us at the door. You two really went at it. We both had the strength of the righteousness, and you and I had broken his rules out of loyalty, out of gratitude. He just didn't get that. He never understood where we came from. And now we know why. He wasn't just some do-gooder who took us in some street kids. He was a rich guy used to getting his way. That's what made him so furious. I don't know, Duncan. I think it's because he thought we were playing him. I never thought of it that way before. Wu rubs his head, thinking. He didn't just think he'd broken his rules or that we'd blackslide. He thought that we were still street hoods, that we were milking him, using him. No wonder he was so angry. He felt betrayed. But you were able to get him to calm down and see reason, get him to see my side of the story, and all you said was that one thing, the thing that he said his mother used to say to him when he was being obstinate. What the hell was that? So, this decision isn't a major decision, but the decision you make here is important for a decision later on. So remember exactly what phrase you choose here, because you're going to have to reference it later. So hopefully you remember that. So you can say, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. You can also say, he understands badly who listens badly. I'm going to choose the bottom one just because I think I like that a little bit better. But it's listen to what you know instead of what you fear. Listen to what you know instead of what you fear. Wu nods his head, remembering. Yeah, that's what you what you fear thing really got to him. Still not sure why. Using his mother's words on it really did the trick. Wonder what kind of childhood he had. He rubs his chin. But the way he looked at you after that. Yeah, crazy. He was furious with you, but all I did was quote his mother, and I got the big chill. Maybe he got mommy issues. Wu chuckles humorously. And who knows, maybe I've got a few daddy issues to deal with. Guess I should try and keep an open mind when we see him. Let's talk later. Anytime. So yeah, a little bit of story stuff with Duncan. So yeah, I'll probably take Duncan with me when we do the job anyway, just because, you know, he's a solid street samurai character, so why not? So, alright, let's talk to Isabel and learn a little bit more about her memories. Isabel glances up at your expression is grim. Wiggles, I've come to a decision. I want these memories out of my head. They're an unpleasant distraction. I was happier without them. When this is all over, I'm deleting them. To hell with locking them away again. I'm going to purge my childhood altogether, shred the memories and move on. As an added bonus, I'll clear up a lot of headwear memory. I'm thinking that I could store some Simpsons recordings up there. Maybe make it so that when I try to remember my past, I get summers on the beach instead of sorrow and pain. Those memories are a part of you, and they've changed you. Purging them will kill the part of you again. Oh yeah, good. That part of me that knows this shit would be better off dead. The rest of me will be a whole lot happier too. Yeah, sure, I saw shit in the Barrens that I'd probably be happier to forget too, but living through those experiences made me stronger. Good for you. I don't want to be strong. Not that this is the price. I'm the one who has to live with this thing. Don't waste your breath telling me not to get rid of it. She squeezes her eyes shut, rubs the bridge of her nose between her thumb and forefinger. Anyway, I guess that you're here with more questions, right? Let's get them answered then. I'm a proponent that you shouldn't forget where you came from, because otherwise that shaped who you were in the first place. So forgetting them is a tantamount to forgetting where you began and made the character who you are. It's just a false lie that you give yourself to placate yourself. So I don't know. That's just my thought on it. Any thoughts on the last run? You know what drives me crazy about Gobbet? She does shit like this all the time. Doesn't think about anything, not about the risk she takes, the consequences of her actions, or how her behavior can hurt her friends. She just jumps headfirst into whatever crazy scheme she's got in her head, and damn everyone else. Maybe after all this she'll finally learn her lesson. I have to say, I didn't expect to get off the sinking ship without blowing it apart. My money was on setting fire to the whole contraption and then letting it burn, but you really pulled out all the stops. I can't believe we had to face down some kind of rat demon god thing, but we did. I'm sure there's a lesson in there somewhere, but I'll be damned if I know what it is. But anyway, questions about the walled city. Alright, go ahead. Is there anything else that you can tell me about the Yama Kings? Yeah, I've got another one for you if you want it. I can't say whether this is based on any kind of truth or not, and that's for you to decide, but it was always popular when I was growing up, especially with the other kids my age. You'll see why we liked it in the end. Alright, lay it on me. Okay, this one's about a boy named Gordon Yam, and how he saved his mother from a fate worse than death. As the story goes, Gordon was the cleverest boy in the walled city. He could steal whatever he liked without getting caught, and could sneak into any room unseen, and could talk his way past any grown-up that might try to stop him. You get the picture, a real hero figure for the 9-year-old set. So one day, Gordon's mother fell ill. It was a bloody flux brought on by a curse, and was going to kill her. So she told Gordon that he could accept her death. That curse had come from a Yama King, and there was no medicine that could prevent him from claiming her. She begged him to run, to escape the walled city, but he used his cleverness to make a life for himself somewhere far away. Gordon loved his mother, and he refused to obey her request. Instead, he searched high and low for a way to save her. For a long time, nothing came to him, but finally he happened upon an old man who told him about the powerful Yama King that could cure any ill for a price. Which Yama King? One of the ones that you've told me about, or a different one? Different. He doesn't have a name, or he did, but because of what happened, speaking of it is taboo. The story of a little fuzzy on the details. We just always called him the Nameless King. So Gordon went out in search of the Nameless King. He made his way through Triad territory, past the Shrill Gangers and the Organ Leggers. You know the drill. Everyone eventually made it to the inner walled city, where he found the Nameless King's court. The human servants of the Nameless King took Gordon to stand before the creature they worshipped, and Gordon proposed his deal. Isn't that a bit oxymoronic to call him the Nameless King, because it has a name now? Anyway. Nameless King, he said, I need your help. My mother is dying of an ill that only you can cure. So that may be, said the Nameless King. But what is it to me? What will you offer me if I spare her? If you restore her to health, I will join your court in repayment. I, the cleverest boy in the walled city, and I will serve you loyally and well. The Nameless King was excited then, for he knew of Gordon's cleverness, and he coveted the little boy's soul. That's creepy. Gordon pulled a braid of his mother's hair from his pocket and held it out before the Nameless King. A lock of my mother's hair, O King, he said. Cure her of this flux, and I am yours to command as you please. The Nameless King worked his magic, and Gordon's mother was cured. So what happened then? Did Gordon join the Nameless King's court? No, when the Nameless King turned on Gordon, he laughed in the monster's face. I have tricked you, Nameless King, for my mother was the property of another of your kind. In curing her, you have robbed a Yama King of its dinner. The Nameless King raged and turned on Gordon. His razor blade fingers flexed wide, but before he could bring his arm down in a killing stroke, it was caught in the grasp with 1,000 hooks, claws, and fangs. The Yama Kings, all of them. You have stolen from one of your own kind, brother, said the Yama Kings. Her life was not yours to save. Gordon slipped away as the Yama Kings descended upon the brother. He did not watch as they tore the Nameless King apart and bathed in the steaming viscera. He made his way back home to his mother, who was cured, and that was the one time that a living boy outwitted a Yama King. She stretches, cracking her back, clears her throat awkwardly. And that's the story. Like I said, you can see why we liked it. It's basically a fairy tale, and the little boy wins in the end. Yeah, you should read German or European old fairy tales. Most of them are not happy, as Disney would like you to think. It's an only story about the Yama Kings that can shreds even a shred of hope. What do you think it means? I don't know. Probably doesn't mean anything. It's just a story. It's a story is all. You're the one who asked. Anyways, is there anything else you want to know? That's all for now. Can we talk about something else? Okay. And we're good with that for now, so we'll talk to her another time. Alright, let's talk to Gobbet about things about the ship and everything. See how she's doing. Stepping into Gobbet's cabin, you find her crouching on the floor. She appears to be midway through a valiant struggle against an enormous pastry. Her cheeks bulge out like a chipmunk's, and wispy threads of pork floss hang from her bread-speckled lips. She glances up at you, her eyes wide with alarm. Her jaw works to manage an enormous quantity of crispy dough in her mouth, but she doesn't seem to be making much headway. Yeah, between the two of you, my money's on the pastry. She struggles to move her jaw and her mouth is stuffed too full for her to make much headway. She gestures feebly towards a picture of water on the ground near your feet. What will you give me for it? Her eyes narrow, with her cheeks overstuffed as they are. The effect is less threatening than it is comical. She raises her hands, fingers splayed, and holds them at shoulder height, a typical spellcasting posture. If you make a poison clot in here, you'll die too, just saying. Scowling through her cheeks waddled with pastry, she rises from her perch and stalks over to you. She snatches the pitcher off of the ground, lifts it to her mouth, and tilts it back. As the water pours into her mouth, she's slowly able to work through the food stored in her cheeks. Finally, she lowers the water pitcher, coughing. Okay, yeah, note to self, the pastry terrace of Prince Edward's Road, make 'em dry. She takes another swig from the pitcher, grimacing. Moist green apple and jelly trotter my ass. The thing like that was a dessert made of pig. That sounds kind of foul, Gobbet. Don't knock it till you try to kill her. It makes you sound ignorant. She stabs a thumb into her chest. Now, I have tried it, and I can tell you that it is disgusting. But the opinion carries authority because it comes from experience. You can't use that line when it comes to, like, poison. I'm just saying. So anyway, you want the rest? She lifts the remaining pastry for your inspection. The forest of pork floss that tops the roll flutters suggestively. Sure, I'll take it. She blinks in surprise. Really? Sure, then it's all yours. Here, catch. She tosses the remaining pastry to you. It sails through the air, glistening suggestively in the dim cabin light. Let it fall. You make no move to catch the flying pastry. It lands somewhere out of the hall. Hey, that was kind of a dickish thing to do. Might still have eaten that. She frowns. I mean, probably not, but there was a chance. Be honest with yourself. You weren't going to eat it. You were going to let it sit in the corner and rot. Yeah, maybe. So you probably want to talk about what happened on the raft, huh? I think that in your place I would. Any thoughts on the last run? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, it's kind of a big deal, Well, we've already said pretty much everything there is to be said, though, haven't we? I mean, it's not like we didn't go over this already with the important lessons about responsibility and all that. Let's talk about what happened on the sinking ship. Yeah, we can do that. First off, I should thank you. You and Iz came to help me even though I didn't ask you to or want you to. Actually, maybe I should be upset about that, but the important thing is that you did help me. I'm not going to say that I couldn't have handled it without you, but it would have been really, really dicey. Yeah. You would have been fine. Me and Iz, we just made it a little bit easier for you. She manages a half smile. Yeah, sure you did. Thanks. On the bright side, we overthrew Malvina and put the rat back in Cat's hands. That feels pretty great. And the shiny object is at the bottom of Hung Hong Bay, lodged in a bank of silt and crab shit. That's pretty much where it belongs. But I gotta admit, something's gnawing at me. Before you and Iz showed up, I was gonna sink the raft. I got halfway through arming the charges, and I was gonna send the whole sinking ship down in flames. Everyone on it would have died. Cat, Yasmin, all of them. All because I made up my mind early and didn't want to change it. Kind of makes me think, how many times before now have I done what seemed like the right thing to do? Follow my gut like I taught you without realizing there was a better option. This whole introspection thing kind of sucks, I gotta say. She looks at you, scowling. It's much more comforting to just assume that all my past decisions were right. Sure it is. It's an intellectually dishonest, but it's definitely something comforting. She bites her lower lip. Yeah, Killer, you aren't helping my mood any. I'm kind of having a tough time over here. She begins to pace, kicking piles of dirty clothes and blankets out of the way. Thrusting her hands into her pockets, she fishes out madness and folly and tosses them down into her cot. I don't do this very often. Reflection is for mirrors, not devastatingly attractive street shamans. I don't know how you hand-wringers deal with feeling this way. Yeah, watch with the hand-wringers. Hand-wringers. Do you mean people who learn from their mistakes? I guess, maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really do this kind of thing, so tell me what to do next. What comes after this? After you suffer through your embarrassment for a while, you try to learn something from it. Huh? Your way is boring, Killer, and it's complicated. It comes with way too many bad feelings. She scowls. Yeah, I get it. There's probably even some value there. I'm never going to start second-guessing everything that I do, though. That just isn't me. I mean, maybe you should start second guessing some things when new information presents itself. What a novel concept. Yes, Killer, I can do that, and I will from now on. Cross my heart. Anyway, things turned out the way that they did. I don't know what might have happened if we tried to do something different, but there's one thing I can say for certain. Things are better in Hong Kong Bay than they were before we went to the sinking ship. We did some good out there. That's something. I mean, I didn't go out there to save Hong Kong Bay. I did to help you. Mission's accomplished then. And come to think of it, there are two things I can say for certain. You want to hear the second? Lay it on me. I think that rat is happy that the shiny object is gone. She pauses for a moment, considering. That or maybe the stupid egg did something to me. I don't know for certain. Either way, something is different. I can feel it in my gut. So if you choose to sink the ship, then Rat randomly gives her like a rock to power her up or whatever. In this case, it's a bit different. But God, but are you sure that came from Rat? Of course I am. I had a vision. It had colorful lights, dancing rodents, the works. And when the world came back into focus, this magic marble was in the palm of my hand. She tosses the stone into the air and catches it with her other hand. Neat, huh? Now, I don't know quite how it works yet, but I'm sure that it does something. I mean, it has to, right? Rat wouldn't just give me a normal rock. She's a trickster and all that, but that'd be mean. So mark my words, the next time we're in the field, something magical is going to happen. I mean, literally magical. It'll be a journey of discovery for both of us. I'll be looking forward to that. Me too, and thank you, Killer. I really mean that. You can fly by my side anytime. Thanks, Gobbet. And that's it. So Gobbet's story is pretty much over. I think she has some minor dialogue afterwards, but that's pretty much the major, like, in terms of non-story stuff. So we've talked to the allies, and we've got a new mission to face the Plastic Man, but we're not quite done yet. We've got many more missions to go. So what do the people of the town have to say? Any new chances of dialogue? And will Gaichu finally get the helping hand that he so rightly needs? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.